Yeah, hello Rakesh. I'll be continuing the session. People might join in between. Let me introduce myself. I'm myself Sarvana and I have been a full stack developer from the past 5 years, and over the course of time I have conducted many more sessions, and I have taken corporate training, and I have taken session in the USA batch. I have taken sessions. I have handled the batches in the US itself. And if I have to talk about my company, yeah, hello Siddesh. Hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I, Savannah, I'm able to hear you.
Yeah, as I was saying, I have 5 years experience in full stack development, and over the course of time I have entered as many as batches, and I have taken corporate training, and I have taken internships
Hello.
too. Yes. And if I have to speak about my company, Bitstream IO Technologies, it started in the year 2019, and it's a consulting company. We not only consult students, but we also provide 100% placement assistance to them. Like, even if you are not from computer background, we help you to train, and we have tie up with some of the reputed companies where we train and we assist you to place in that reputed companies. So it's not that your background or education system or the gap you have from your previous job, we train from zero. Like, even if you don't have a knowledge about any technology, or if you don't have any knowledge about computer, we start from zero. And this is our website. As you can see, this is all what we all offer. Like, we provide internships and we provide trainings. Hope everyone can see my screen, right?
Yeah, I'm able to see your screen.
Yeah, I will share this URL in the group. You can go through this, and we provide corporate training, and we also provide courses. Like, you can opt which you can go through. Like, right off now we have like MERN stack, Java full stack, mean stack, DevOps, all these things. You can opt whichever you want. So you have joined for Java, and I will start about Java in few minutes. So this is about our company Bitstream.io, and we provide all this offer. These are all the courses what we provide and the services. This is what we offer: internship programs, corporate training, and we provide placements. If you look at our portfolio, you can see all the placements over there. And when it comes to training, I am going to let you know people how we are going to train. So we ourselves have a content where people who are willing to join can opt which course they need. Like, they can opt for Angular. So this is the content what we provide in Angular. Like, what are the topics to be covered in Angular and all those things. We provide the topics for them. They can go through these topics. Even I will share these things in the group, so you can refer to your friends who are willing for Angular. You guys have been here for Java, as I said. So we provide all these contents. Like, when you opt to get a course in a particular technology, right, you will be learning the basics, and you might learn few things which you're going to work on. But what we do here in Bitstream.io is that we teach you what is needed to work on. Like, it's not always about the basics. Basics is to kickstart your course. Like, once you know the basics, we right away implement you, ask will provide you assignments to work on real time projects. So I'll show you all these examples now. So this is about Angular, and not about a particular technology. Like, right now, nowadays people will offer full stack development, so that a guy who can work on two different technology, like in the front end and back end, only one person can work on both. And company will opt for people who are good in technology with multiple skills. So when it comes to Java full stack, we have Java full stack content, so you can go through this. Like, we have a framework like Angular and React, both are framework and library. You can go through the contents what we provide, and I'm telling you again, we not only explain the basics what is needed to understand a topic, but we also help you to learn what you are going to work once you get into a company. Like, if you have come across your friends of any of them, like if they start a course anywhere near their home, like they'll get to know only the basics. When they start their working, they'll feel like these things I haven't learned in the course, but we know only the basics. But what we do here, once you learn the basics, we help you and we assign you work which involves in a live project, and wherever you struggle we will help you out. So it will boost your confidence and it will be helpful to crack an interview. Like, it's not always about the basics. So these are all the contents, and I'll be sharing these too. And as I'm speaking about my company, you can go for the reviews page of our company, where you can find reviews like people who have already joined the session and got placed, people who have already completed their course and who have been working, they have left their reviews here. You can go through these reviews and you can get to know more about our company from the people who have already completed the course and got placed. And when it comes to training, as I said, we also have a YouTube channel where all the session will be recorded and will be shared. So even if you miss some sessions, or if you want to recall some concepts from the session, you can go through our videos. So our channel is Bitstream.io Technologies. So this is our channel. So whatever the session we are going to take, these sessions will be recorded and shared in the YouTube. And if you come across our playlist, you can find multiple playlists in which multiple batches are handled. If you go through this playlist, you can see JavaScript, CSS, HTML, placement, Java sessions, technical videos, and all these things. But in placements, if you go, you can see the people who have placed at the start, like who have taken our course, they have given their reviews through video, and we have shared it in the YouTube. And not only this, but we have also taken the sessions, like the examples. We offer more training on practical things. Like when it comes to coding, it's not something that you can learn theoretically. If you practice it and if you practically do and implement some concepts over that particular technology, you are able to answer it theoretically. So if you can go through this, I'll be sharing this link too. So if you go through these videos, you can see that most of our videos contains, like 95% of the videos is about practical things, like how to install Eclipse, how to install Java, how to kickstart Java. Like, we won't be sharing the editor right away and starting hello world program. Like, we will start from Java, what is Java, like why it is needed, how the data is processed there, why we need Java only. All these things will be seen. Like, I'll be sharing these things too. So when you talk about Java, like we have handled multiple sessions in Java, and in our playlist we have one batch which is to be shared. So I'll be sharing this link. You can go through that. You can get to know how our training will be provided to you. And I'm telling you this, we will start from zero. It's not that like Java is a backend language, now I'll go for the Eclipse. It's not like that. We will give you a complete in detail. So once the course get completed, then you will be assigned models from live projects, and wherever you struggle to get it done, we will help you out, as it will boost your confidence. So when I talk about Java, Java is nothing but a high level programming language which is used at the back end. So when you get to know about front end and back end, like if you are logging into something, like you have an Amazon account, you have to register first. So you see a form. That form is nothing but a front end, which a front end guy who will be creating that form, and he'll be validating it. And once when you hit your first name, last name, email, mobile address, and when you are going to pay, those details will get into the server through an API, and the data is processed. These APIs are generated through Java, like in the backend language. So I'll show you in few minutes. And Java is a high level programming language which is used at the backend to connect to the database, and where the data is processed, and you can generate APIs to interact with the server, the data that is coming from the front end. So if you have to talk about Java, Java is an old language, and in the last 30 years there is no device that is of Java. Like most of the devices that has been started is of Java only. And as you know, James Gosling is the one who found out Java. and you need some editors, like you have to install Java, Maven, Eclipse, and the database which we are going to provide will be MySQL, and you have to install MySQL and all these things. So when it comes to Java, Java has three editions. One is standard edition, which has all the packages like which you need based on your requirement, and we have micro edition where Java is used on electronic devices, and we have enterprise edition where we will be working as a Java developer to build softwares to electronic devices. So we have three editions, and when you are starting with Java, you have to know about core Java and advanced Java. Core Java is to know how Java works, like what are all the syntax you can come across, how Java really works. These things you can come across core Java. So once you know the syntax of Java and how functions works, how operators work, how data types works, then you implement these things in advanced Java where you can work on your requirement. Suppose if you have to do mail integration, suppose you have to do a CRUD operation. When you talk about CRUD operation, CRUD, C for creating a data to post it into the server. Then retrieve, you are going to get the data from the server. U for update, where you are going to change the data what you have been posted earlier. Then delete, how you are going to delete the data from the server. From the backend side, you are going to validate the code through Postman. So Postman is a testing tool. So you won't be connected through a front end guy. The job what you will be assigned.
Sarvan, we are not getting your screen.
Yeah, I have shared my screen.
No, not getting that one. Postman and all.
Yeah, Postman I'll be showing, like practically I'll be showing how we'll be using all these things. So if I have to say, this is how Eclipse looks, where you are going to start Java, and this is how MySQL installer, how you are going to connect database, and this will be Postman, your testing tool. Like this is what we call API. I will show a practical example in few minutes. So as I was talking, if you have to learn core Java first, where you can get to know about syntaxes and how to implement Java. Then you are going for advanced Java, where you are going to make use of all that core Java concepts to build an application. And we'll be using some frameworks like collection framework, Spring framework, all these things, and Hibernate, so that your Java is getting connected to the front end and the data is processed and saved in the database. So these are all the things that you are going to learn hereafter. So I will take a practical example. So here the Eclipse, I'll just close all the tabs. For now I'll just close all the tabs. I'm just going to show how Java works. First you have to install Java. You have to install, like the latest version is 17, but if you have to explore your knowledge, Java 11 is the best one. Like it has all the implementations and plugins which you want to learn when you want to become a Java developer and you want to work in a company as a Java developer. So you have to write Java JDK download. So once you click this, you will be getting this from Oracle. So Oracle is the one that is going to maintain this JDK. So you have to click on this. Then you will be having this environment variables in your control panel, where you have to set your path. And Apache is one thing where you are going to work on advanced Java. So apart from this, what you have to install Eclipse. Eclipse is the editor where you are going to code Java code to create an application or practice code Java. So once you open this, this is how your project looks. And here if you go for the file, if you go for the new, you will have multiple projects. You have a Java project and you have a Spring Starter project. As I said, Spring is a framework where you are going to build some advanced application. So right now I'm going to click on Java project. So here I'll be naming my first. So this is how you start your Java project. So once you finish this, so here you will be creating this folder, and inside this folder, if you come across, you can find this JRE. JRE is nothing but Java runtime environment. So once the installation starts, right, I am going to explain you in detail what JDK means, what JRE means. And Java is write once, run anywhere. Like whatever the code you are going to write, it is going to compile into 0 and 1, so that the code what you have written, right, it is only once that you are going to write, and it can be run on any platform. So Java is an independent language too. So here in the SRC, you are going to create a new package. Package is like collection of classes which are connected through each other, and here I'm going to create a package, and here I'm going to write, like in the name, like you are going to create the project in the name of your like project.com dot classes. So this is the package, and look, a package has been created, and inside this you are going to write a class. So in Java, that is everything you can see as class and objects. Everything in Java is nothing but class and objects, and it follows the procedure of OOPS concept. So in OOPS you can find abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance, and encapsulation. So Java is a completely OOPS, object oriented. As in the word says object oriented, everything you find in Java is nothing but classes and objects. So this is how you are going to create a class. I'm going to write the name my class, and I'm going to select a main method. So now I have created the class, and we have one more thing which is called as inheritance, in which multiple inheritance can be achieved. Like as I said, in the OOPS we can come across inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, and abstraction. And inheritance in class, it is not possible, so we implement the term interface. We are going to create interface, and here I'm going to just write SYSOUT, and here I'm going to write hello world. So this is the term that you are going to come across when you run your first class. So here once we start training, right, from start we'll be teaching you what is this public and why it is mentioned as class, and why these things are in brown color, and why my class is in black, and why I have selected public, static, void, main, and what is this string, and why this square brackets, what do you mean by this args, and how did I write system.out.println. All these things we'll be teaching from start. So this is the first class what you are going to create. Like this is my first project in Java, and this is my first class. And if you want, and some terms inside this you are going to find like constructors, functions, static functions, and all these things you can come across. And as I said, once we start training, right, you will get to know about from here start how to start this project, what JRE library means, how come this SRC folders here, and why package should be created, and how this can be classified as a class. And when you create class, why you are able to see this thing, what you mean by package, what you mean by public, what you mean by class, and what you mean by this method. Everything is explained in detailed way. So now coming back, I will show you how Java works in the backend. So I'll show you an example. It might take like 2 to 3 minutes. This is why I'm explaining you from the front end. I have a project. So what I'll do, I have an application from the front end side. I'll show you how the coding you are going to do in the back end, how it is integrated from the front end. So whatever the APIs you are going to generate, how it is able to be used from the front end side. So first I'll run a basic application from the front end, then I'll show you how I'm going to connect the front end to my Java code, and how the data is stored in the data table. So this example I'm going to show you, and I'll show you how it is validated in the Postman. Like if you don't have a front end, how you are going to validate using Postman. And I have one API. I'll be creating one fake API. Like I have one mock API.io. Like this is a fake APIs which is provided online for practice purpose. So here if you come across, I'll delete this something called as Monday batch, and I'll create a new API. Like this is a fake API which is already generated from this online. So here I'll create as sample or else fake sample, and I'll create one API. Like this is for learning purpose. Look here, if I click onto it, now you feel it as a server. Now this is a server and it is empty. What I'll do, this is what we call API. I will copy this API, and here in the front end what I'll do, here I'll be using this API here. So this is what we are going to generate from the back end. So this is what we call it as API. Now my application is running here and I'm showing you this. Look here, this fake sample. I'm going to refresh the page. As you can see, nothing. What I'll do from the front end, now this is what we call front end. Assume this is a form where I'm going to enter the data. Look, now I'm going to enter the data. I'm going to write the name as Vikas, designation as manager, and salary around 25k. So once I just know the name Vikas, manager, 25,000, and if you look at the server, it is empty. Once I submit this, and now if I go back here and refresh, look, the data Vikas, manager, 25,000, it is stored in the server. So the data what I have entered, it is stored in the server, and this API is a fake one. What we are going to do, we are going to generate this API from Java code and connect it to the front end. And here I have another example, show data, and here if you see, there is no data coming from here. So the data is from this server, right? I'll be copying this API, and here I'm going to get this thing. So if I run it here, and if I go back there, and if I refresh, look, Vikas. This is the thing that you are going to see. Now I did this front end without Java code using a fake server. So how to do this in the real time using Java code? How to write the code? So I have one ready application. It might take time to start. So I have one explanation, one project ready. So here this is advanced Java. Okay. Here I have created a Spring Boot project where I have folders SRC main Java. Here I'll be having all the Java codes. As you can see, I have 4 different packages. I have 5 different packages, and here I have resources, and here I'll be connecting it to database. And here I have a SRC test Java where I can test my code. And you can learn about this once we start training. And here in this packages, I have one main class which is related to my name. Look here, NATO application. The name is NATO. The name of the project is NATO. This is my main application, and here I have entity class. This is where Java starts. In advanced Spring project, this is where it starts. So these are all what we call annotations, table, and here we call the same public class employee. And the thing what you are seeing here, we call it as attributes. We call the thing which you are seeing in blue color, we call it attributes, and these things we call it as access modifiers, and these are nothing but data types. Int is an integer data type, string is a string data type, float is a float data type. So once we start, you will get to know about data types, access modifiers, and attributes. Whatever the things you are going to write here inside this class, we call it as attributes. Once you set up these attributes, we are going to create one repository. I told you about interface, right? This interface, you have interface and class. This interface will be extending JPA repository. I am talking about data flow. So once you create entity class, then you go for interface class, and then you have service class. And inside this service class, you are going to write the logic, what you are going to do with your attributes. So if I have to open service class, look here. This is a class and this is object. The one in black color you are going to see, you are already seeing, that is class. And as I said, Java is nothing but classes and objects. Object is nothing but a blueprint of class. That is why you are able to see E in caps here, that is class, and here object, and I am using that particular object. So no need to worry, this is not the code that you have taken from internet. Like you are going to train you to write this code from zero on your own in your system. I am talking about data flow and everything here, what service means, what auto wired means, everything you are going to learn. And once you write this logic, you are going to write controller class, and here where you are going to create this APIs. You are going to create this APIs. This is what we call APIs. So this is for post mapping. There is another term, another concept in Java that is called for mapping. Post mapping to post into the server or database, get mapping to retrieve the data from the database or server, and you have put mapping for edit, delete, which you are going to delete. So this is the data flow. So this is about SRC main, and you have SRC resources application properties. So what I'll do here in the SQL table, I'll create a new table. So I'll go for the database, create database. I'm going to create bitstream IO Tech. This is my database name I'm going to create. So once it's created, look here at the top, you have this bitstream IO Tech. This database has been created. This is completely about MySQL. And if I click on table, you are able to see there is no table here as of now. Look, even if I click, there is no table. So what I'll do here in the application properties, this code you will get it online. The only thing you have to do, you have to give your username and password of your MySQL, and here you have to give your database name. So the database name what I have created is bitstream IO Tech. If you can see bitstream IO Tech. So here I'm going to write bitstream IO Tech. So this is for connecting database. So once you did this, save it, and you have to click on this. So once you run your application, right, it starts running. So I told you about Postman, right? This is how you start. So once you run your application, if the code what you have written is validated, this is how it is going to run. And you can see here it is going to show where your server has been started. Here it is going to say Tomcat. It is an inbuilt server in Java. While you are going to install Apache Maven, right, it is going to provide you this Tomcat. So it is going to say Tomcat started on port 8080. Okay, and now if you go on here, as I said, there is no table. I will refresh this thing, and now if I click on to this table, look, you'll find Hibernate sequence and my employees. Can you see this? My employees. I will show the table here. Select star from this table, and how I'm able to get this table? This table name my employees, right? If you go for your entity class, I have given there. Look here, my employees. If you can see here, it is showing my employees. And what are all the attributes you had? You had employee ID, employee name, designation, and salary. And if you can see here, employee ID, designation, employee name, salary, and the data what you're going to enter from the front end is going to be stored here. But right now, assume that you don't have front end code, you have Postman for this. You have Postman, so you have post method. Okay, and here this is what we call API. So first here in the console, you see what it is written there. It is in the 8080 port. So you have to go there in the Postman. You have to write HTTP localhost 8080, and then to add the data, what is the API you have written in the controller class? In the controller class, you have written to post something into the data. You have written add new employee. So after 8080, you are going to write this add new employee. So you are going to write this add new employee. And here this is a testing tool. No need to worry about Postman. You have just given the API here, and then you have created this data. So if I have to say Rakesh name, so I have said Rakesh. Rakesh, are you working or you are still a student? Rakesh, can you hear me? Yeah, what about Subramania? You are still a student or you are working? Hello? Yeah, Subramania. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll just write employee name as Subramania, and I'm just going to say designation as, I'm going to say it as a developer, and I'm going to write salary as around 30k. So now what I'll do, this Postman is a testing tool. I am passing the data here itself. I'm assuming I don't have a front end code. So this is a testing tool, how you are going to test. Now if I click send, if I click onto this send, look here, employee ID 1, Subramania and developer. You can see this, and now you go for your data table. There was no data here. If you run now, so what I'll do, I'll just first refresh this thing. Now look here, employee name Subramania, salary of 30,000, designation is developer, and ID has been generated. So the code what you have written is validated and you have tested through Postman. So the data, assume this data has been passed from a form. That form, when they hit this API, it is stored in this database. So I will send another data. So I'll send Rakesh. So assume he's a manager and he's going to earn around 40,000, and if I send this data, look here, it is going to validate, and if I refresh the table, look here, name Rakesh, salary 40k, designation manager. So he was able to enter this data. So this is testing tool where you can. Now how to get, I have to check what are all the data that is in the database. So here again, how to do that, you have to use this get method. For posting you have this use post get method, and where the localhost is running 8080, and if you go for the controller class to get the data, it is of get all employees, and if you can see get all employees, and if you send, you are able to collect the data that is in the database. This is a testing tool. Look here, you have Subramania who is a developer, 30,000, Rakesh manager at a 40,000, and now I have to edit. So this is CRUD, right? C create or retrieve, you got retrieve the data from the data table. Now I have to edit, that is where you are going to use put method, and here in the localhost 8080 it is running, and here for the put method, what, this is the API that I have created, and if you look at here, update here, and now I'll go here and I'll copy this data and I'll pass it here. You'll get to know everything about Postman and MySQL too. And here Subramania 1, and if you can see, he was a developer, and if you can see the data table, it is showing as a developer. Now what I'll do, I'm going to change this designation to COO or COC. You know about COC, chain of command. Now I'm going to send it. I'm editing the data, and you can see designation has changed to COC. Look, Subramania developer, but if I refresh the table, look, designation has been changed. This is about edit the data which is in the data table. And now at last it is about delete, and you have to use this delete method. You have options here, post to create, get to retrieve, put to edit, and delete the data. And here if you go in the controller class, as it is by default, it is about starts in 8080, then you have delete employee by ID. So here if you go delete employee by ID, what is Subramania's ID? It is 1. So I want to delete 1, the ID of Subramania. I'm going to say delete 1. Then if I go and click send, it is showing successfully deleted the ID 1. And if I go for my data table and if I refresh, look, Subramania has been deleted my data table. And as I said before, in Java everything will let you know why these lines are in green color and why it is used as @delete mapping. These things we call it as annotations. And these are nothing but parameters, we call it as. And this is about Java code. And now how to integrate this. Now you have tested your code, you have tested your API. Okay, you have tested your API in the Postman. Yeah, the code what you have written is working and the database is getting generated in the data table. Now this API, once you check in the Postman, yeah, it is ready. What you'll do, you'll pass it to the front end guy. So in the front end code, in this create, he is going to make this. Look here, HTTPS fake sample. Here in this fake server, you got this data right. Now he is going to change the URL. He is going to give the API what you have generated. So your API was localhost 8080 add a new employee, which will pass the data right. Now I'll save this, and now I'll check from the front end. So this was my application. So here I'm going to add. So if I add here in the front end, the data what he had entered should be stored in the database, because I have generated this API using Java code where it says 8080, it started in the server, and this is the API I have written in the controller class. This API I have placed in the front end code. Now what I'll do, I will add it from the front end. So you have logged into a website, and now I have to register myself. I'm going to write Vikas. My designation is a web developer, and my salary is around 25k, and I'm going to submit. Once I hit this submit, what it happens, the data is going to through this API. And now if I go for my table and if I refresh, look here, it has been joined Vikas web developer, and I got a salary of 25,000. And now if I have to add again, I can add it again. So if I have to refresh this page, and if I have to send from the start, I'm going to add Subramanya again. Subramanya, can I know your last name? Or else I'll add a new name as Ramesh. Designation as CEO, salary around 50k, and I'll submit. This is a front end page. Assume it is an Amazon, you are registering. So the data is processed through the back end, and it is stored in the data table Ramesh CEO. And now if you want to show the data, you click on this table, there is no data shown here. So how to display the data? In this code we have another get method here, and if you go for the Postman, and if you look, your API is this. So I'll check this API to show in the UI. So I'll paste this API here, and I'll paste it here. This API what you generated using Java code and you have tested through Postman, I am using this in the front end. And now if I check here, look here, Rakesh, Vikas, Ramesh. So if I have to add a new thing, like I'm going to say, I'll add here Amrut. His designation will be supervisor, and his salary is around 45k. And if I submit and click on show data, look here, this data is not only showing here, it has been also stored here in the data table Amrut supervisor. So this is how you are going to validate. Now I have to edit the data. So if you go for the Postman, what is the API you have generated using Java? For edit, update employee. So I'll go here and I'll use it in the front end. So for that is for edit, and here I'm going to use this code, and here I'm going to edit. So here what I'll do, I'll edit Ramesh as Ramesh Patil. So then I'll update details and I'll go for the table. Look here, Ramesh Patil, and if you go for the data table, you have Ramesh here. If you refresh your database, look, Ramesh Patil, it has been edited. So now again I have to delete. So for delete, what is the API that I have written and tested? This is the API, and here I'm going to add it for the delete. So here I have a delete method. So here I'm going to say delete the API what I have written, and now I'm going to delete that particular data. So I'll go here in the UI, I'll delete this and I'll refresh the page. Look here, there is no Ramesh Patil as I deleted. And if I go for the data table, you can see Ramesh Patil. Once it is refreshed, there is no Ramesh Patil anymore here in my data table. So what you did, you have generated this API. How? You have written the code, you have started your server. It is telling you it has started at the port 8080, and then for adding a data to my data table, I have used this API. So that local 8080 slash add a new employee, the data is stored in the data table. So this is the data flow, and this is how you are going to create APIs, and these APIs are used in the front end, so that in the UI when someone sees a form they have to register or to log in. This is how data is done. So Java, here you are opted for Java, right? And here I'll be talking about every folder you are seeing here from zero. As I said, from zero, from start, what this package means and why it is in brown color, what is this util.list, why I have used this annotation, why this annotation, and why AutoWord I have used, and what is this EMP service, employee service. Everything you will get to know once the training starts, right from zero. So no need to worry about that. You don't have any background knowledge of computer or Java, or you feel like I have a lot of gap in your profession. Nothing like that. You'll be starting from zero. You can master the technology once you start attending sessions and practicing it over time. And as I said, we don't train only on the basics. Once basic training is done, we will train you what is needed to work, and once that get done, we will assign you the modules what we work on live projects, and wherever you feel like you are struggling, we will help you out. So this will boost your confidence to be a Java developer, and it will help you to crack an interview and get a good package. And we not only provide training, we also provide 100% placement assistance. Like if you have come through great, like practicing everything in Java, and you have been completing the assignments what we have given, we will be assisting you with placements where you can have a good package and you can become a great developer over the course of time. So this is about my introduction and introduction about my company and the services what you are going to offer and the things what you are going to learn in the sessions what you are going to attend in future. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Yeah, Subramanya, it's not about diploma. Even like you can go through our reviews. Like you can see people who have did mechanical engineering, civil engineering. There's a guy called Praveen who did civil engineering and had 2 years gap. He's working as a React developer now. And you can come across Saraswati. She has given the review, who is working as a Java developer in Infosys BPO. She is a Java developer. And you can see someone called as Maruti is working in Cognizant as a React developer who has done mechanical engineering, and his profession before this was marketing. So it is, don't have limitations like I don't know about computers, I don't know about technologies and all these things. If you have decided yourself to get into this, you can do it. Yeah, you are from BCA, yeah, that's good. Yeah, if you have degree and if you have skills, like right now, like you need to have some degree and engineering and all these things, but the main thing is that you are going to work on coding. So even if you have degree, but if you are good at coding, then no need to worry about your degree like that I have just done diploma, I have just done BCA. It's about your skill, what you are going to master. That is the thing that is going to help you. Like this engineering and degree, it will not be a bigger problem. I'm not saying that will not be a problem, but it won't be a bigger problem if you are good at what you are doing, like coding. Like if you are good in Java, at the interview point of time they will be asking like you have done degree but you have done Java, right? And they will ask questions about Java and not from your degree. If you are good with answers with Java, then degree is not a concern for you to get into that company. Like nowadays people are hiring based on their coding skills but not of their degree. So don't worry about that degree part. You have to go through the course, or like if you have opted for the course, you have to do it. Yeah, cloud computing, if you are interested, like we have the contact numbers in the group, you can contact the concerned person. Like we will be sharing the numbers in the group. But whatever the technology you opt, right, you have to go through it, practice day in day out. And we as a company, as I said, we don't train the basics. We train basics as well as what is needed for work. Like once you get into a company, you should not scratch your head that I didn't learn this part. It will be something that we have taught. Once you get into company, you will get to know like these are things that what I have managed to learn in the course. These things will help you out. Yeah, the topics we cover, right, like you are late to join, but it's okay. But if you come across Java full stack, I'll be sharing this in the group for the content what we are going to share. We have like 5 to 6 contents. We have Angular, AWS DevOps, Java full stack, Merge stack, React, and web basics. So it's for Java full stack, right? If you click on this Java full stack, we will be starting from React. React is nothing but a library, and then if you scroll in Java, we'll be teaching from zero. As I said, from zero, like what is a how you are going to start Java, how to set the path, how to start, and what are all the things you are going to see, and what are the things we are going to implement. All these things, Java variables, data types, loops, and once you go this, we have collection framework, and collection framework is one of the most important thing in Java, and these are all the topics you can come across in collections. And then we have Spring Boot, as I said, advanced Java, like how to download, install, annotations, auto configure, dependency management, application properties is nothing but connecting to database and dev tools. And after that you have JPA, Java persistence application with REST API. API is what I told in the Postman. This is how you are going to generate, like this is a simple basic one. While you get into the session, right, while you are learning, you will be having these APIs, like you still have Swagger which will configure the APIs. We have Swagger, like all these things you will get to know going on in the further session. CRUD operations, JWT, it is nothing but JSON web token. JSON web token, like if you log into something, right, two things will be happening there. One is authentication and one is authorization. Authentication is based on the token to know who you are. Assume you are a premium member of YouTube. You have paid 100 rupees so that the videos what you are going to serve will be ad free. So once you log in, right, that login will decide who you are and what you paid. Once they get to know who you are, they will get to know for what you are authorized. You are authorized to ads free video. So that is nothing but login and JWT, JSON web token. We are going to generate this token in Java, JSON web token. Then Swagger integration, this is completed to configure APIs. Then you have logs, the application what you have built. Once we deploy into a server, right, there we can come across this logs and how to upload, download file, and SMS integration, how you are going to receive this OTPs, right. This completely how you are going to do in Java. Email integration, it is the same, but you will receive the OTP in email. And Java packaging, you are going to classify the classes into packages, as I said here, right. Here these are all the packages. In the main resource I have 5 packages, and in each package I have a different class. So this is nothing but packaging. And apart from that, you have Hibernate. So this is related to mapping your connections. Like here we have relation mapping 1 to 1. So one person can have only one salary, that is 1 to 1 mapping. 1 to many, one person can have many addresses. Like right now he has a permanent address and a residential address. Many to 1, like many students can be taught by one teacher, that is many to 1. Many to many, many students can opt for many courses, that is many to many. Then we have JWT template with REST API. So this is with Hibernate, and this will be without Hibernate, like how you are going to use JDBC template, Java database template, how you are going to use. And here we'll be using Maven, and as of the same application properties, local properties, stag, prod, and CRUD operations. And here also we have mapping. And apart from this, and how it is done here and how it is done in JDBC, will classify between the two. Like some companies may refer JDBC, some might work without JDBC, but our preference is that you need to know both. Like we are going to differentiate with practical examples how it is done in JDBC and how it is done without JDBC, this thing. So you can have this same content here. And then MySQL, like SQL, how to create the database, how to drop, delete, create, all these things. Primary key, foreign key. Primary key is that how you are going to classify. Suppose if I have 2 Subramania in my company, how I am going to classify the salaries, promotions, and how I have to terminate. If I have to terminate, which data should be deleted, that is nothing but by using primary key. Foreign key, how you are going to validate a key into a different database. So these are all the content what we are going to teach you over the course of time. So cloud computing, we have, this is referred to full stack development. Here we have deployment overview in cloud server. So this is about full stack development. As I said, I'll be sharing this, our portfolio, our website Bitstream.io. You can come across corporate training, you can go for the portfolio, and you can find what all the services we have offered so far and we are going to offer in the future. And we have reviews, you can read the reviews of people who have already joined our sessions and have been placed, and they have also made video where you can come across in Bitstream Technologies channel. If you search for Bitstream IO Technologies, in this channel we have playlist, we have a playlist for placements, we have a playlist for demo sessions what we have taken. We have handled even foreign sessions, we have taken corporate trainings, we have provided internship, all these things we have provided. And for all that, how we have done our services, we have videos for that. I'll be sharing this link too. You can go through the videos, you can go through the reviews, and you can go through the content what we are going to offer. And we have our own course content. We have our own course content. Like, you will be attending the session, but still you need some theoretical part, right? For that we will be having our own course content. So apart from this, do you guys have any doubt? Subramanya, Rakesh, I'm asking you guys, apart from this, do you have any doubts? So talking about our course content, right? So here in the Bitstream, our own course content I'm talking about. Like, even if you need theoretical part, so once we explain about some topics, right, you might have doubts, you need also note to theoretically, but most of the part in coding is about doing things practically. But still, if you want to know it theoretically, we have our own course, which is Bitstream IO. We have HTML course, CSS course, JavaScript course, Bootstrap. So once you register to our Java course, you will find Java. And this is how it is going to say, like, introduction part, like what is needed. Like, you can come across a lot of course, but we are going to train you only based on what is needed to work, so that it will reduce your stress to learn all the things. Like, if you want to learn from 0 to 10, where you are going to work only like 5 to 6 concepts, we are going to train more on that 5 to 6 concept instead of teaching you from 0 to 10. That is one thing we are specialized in. So once you get into a company, you will be feeling a lot free, that you have already learned how to work. So this is from our end. So if you have anything to ask, you can go on. Subramanya, Rakesh, and others. Sorry if I didn't get the name of the few others who have joined. So if there's anything to ask from your end, you can ask me. And I'll share all these things: our official website, our review page, our channel, and the course of content what we offer. All these 4 to 5 links what I mentioned, I'll be sharing it in the group. You can go through these things and you can have a clarity over it, and you can decide for yourself. So is there anything for you guys to ask from your end?
No.
Like, yeah, Subramanya, can you be a little bit loud?
No, no doubt.
Yeah, apart from this, if there is nothing much to speak, I'll be ending this session. And once you can go through all the links what I'll be sharing, we can have I can meet you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's it for today. Have a great evening, guys. Bye then, everyone.